Hi, welcome to Forgotten Legends of Sound. It's Ian and Kevin. I'm Kevin, the Ian, and we are back from 70,000 Tons of Metal, the cruise. We had a great time, and we wanted to talk about it. And so, just like the what we did last year when we went over 2025, we're gonna kind of format this video the same way. We're gonna go through like how we got to the cruise and everything, the days leading up to it, and then we're gonna go alphabetically for each band and everything, and talk about like what shows did we see, what did we not see, etc., etc. And we'll share some like cool experiences, some not so cool experiences, like and some funny experiences. So it should be pretty sweet. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Like, dude, leading up to it, like honestly, it went by in a flash like that, because it was like, you buy a ticket like 7 months earlier and you're just kind of like, oh man, when is it going to come? And then, dude, January went by so quick. And so we took the red eye out again, to Miami. So we're flying out like Tuesday night and everything. We're awake all night watching movies in the plane. We get there and everything. And it's funny because it's like we didn't get any sleep and we're trying to go to like a hotel and everything in order to, hey, can we check in early, so that we could sleep and stuff. And we picked this hotel that it's like, I'm not going to say the name of the hotel because I don't want to, whatever, deride anybody, but like we didn't know anything about this hotel or whatever. And we get there, we buy a room and everything, rent a room, whatever. And then I start looking up reviews and stuff. And like people are like saying like, don't go here, don't bring your family and kids here. There were people having gunfights in the hallway, and we were like, oh, I guess is this like some kind of bad part of town or whatever,
Well, like when we got there, you were sleeping because we couldn't check in yet to the hotel. They're like, oh yeah, you can't check in until early afternoon or whatever,
Yeah.
So Kevin was asleep in the car, and literally, dude, across the street there was like 20 police cars, and there was a police helicopter flying around in circles, and I was just like, dude, what were we like in like Training Day movie or something?
Right,
like some kind of it was crazy. And
and it was funny because like, dude, I was so dead tired because we were up all night from the plane because, dude, you can't sleep in the plane. It's just impossible.
It is.
And it looks like there's people wandering around, and I'm just like, I'm sleeping in the parking lot, and it looks like I just OD'd in the middle of the parking lot, It was so funny, man. And so we do check in and everything, and like honestly, like, yeah,
our room was like at the very end too, so it was like peaceful. Like we weren't,
it was peaceful. Nice. Everyone was nice. Like we had a wonderful experience. We didn't have any negative experience at the hotel.
It was all good in the hood,
And it's like the thing is like all we really did was like around dinner time we ate at the Rock and Roll Ribs, and we didn't see the Iron Maiden drummer or anything, but we did see some other metalheads that were like, boat, and we're like, yep, boat, and so they knew that we knew that they knew that we were all going on the cruise. And so anyways, but yeah, honestly, that first day we were just like, let's try and get as much sleep as we can because we're gonna try and go hard for the first day of shows and everything. So, and then it's the next day, and I guess you could take it away from
here. I mean, we got in early enough, dropped the car off and everything. Little taxi driver be a little, freaking, like, I don't know about that fool, but when we were going through the checking in or whatever and going through customs and stuff, it was cool because like we were in the far right lane and next to us was like the Darkane guys or whatever. Yeah. So then we were like, dude, that's the freaking Darkane dudes. And then I think we just saw Peter and Christopher at first because I think the other guys were like behind them. Yeah. And we were like, dude, you guys are sick, and they're like, oh, cool. And then we were like, dude, we bought a freaking ticket because back whenever we were looking at bands for this cruise, some of the bands that they had already announced, we'd already seen before. We'd already seen Beast in Black. We'd already seen Dark Tranquillity. So we were kind of like not super committed yet. And then as soon as they announced Darkane, we were like, we were freaking going. Like, this is it, And so then we told them, we were just like, yeah, man, we bought a ticket just to see your guys' shows. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll see you. And then we all kind of went on our merry way because we're going through customs and, our luggage and stuff. And then we boarded the boat, and then those last little bit of time, we were just kind of trying to say goodbye to loved ones, and while we still have the internet, because we don't really we don't do the internet thing on the cruise or whatever.
We don't do the soda on the cruise. We don't.
We like disconnect from the outside world and just go hard on metal.
But like now everything's a little bit of a blur. Once you're on the boat and everything, it's a bit of a blur, So instead of going day by day, vlog what this is what we did next, and then we did that, and we're not going to do that. We're going to just go through each band alphabetically and talk about it, and then just share some
real
stories
quick before we jump in though.
So
we did have some cool. Go ahead. We did have some cool roommates. One was a guy from Japan, and he was really cool. Like we kept seeing him in the front of like a ton of shows. Like he was the kind of person that loved arriving really, really early, like an hour early, just to be in the front row for a show. And he was pretty hardcore. And then the other guy I think was like from Colombia or something.
I thought he was from Chile.
Or Chile,
I thought he was from Chile, but I could be wrong.
But there was a language barrier with us and them, so it's just kind of like metal. And then I was like,
but Yosuke, rock on Yosuke, because dude, flying all the way from Japan, like I think he had some friends that he was there with as well, but still, like he was flying all the way from Japan. That's a long way to go. So anyways.
I guess we could jump into the band. This year, like, we went more hard than we did last year. Like, we saw more shows and stuff because it was just me and Kevin, and we were just, like, committed to see as much as we could. But, alas, there's some that we weren't able to see, which we will talk about to our everlasting shame. No.
Yeah. Ad infinitum, we did not see Amorphous.
Well, we already saw him for Camelot,
Like I mean, we kind of saw Ad infinitum. Like they were there for the Camelot shows, but no, Ad infinitum just doesn't really interest us, know. But
I think she's like pretty talented, but their music and stuff I just can't really get into. I just don't like their music.
Amorphous. So Amorphous was pretty cool, man. Like the first show was inside the Royal Theater, and I think with Amorphous, like there's some songs that I've seen too many times live. Like I'm tired of House of Sleep. I'm tired of
Black Winter Day.
Yeah, but it's like I haven't seen the Borderlands songs and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was kind of almost like a new album tour for Amorphous. And it was cool to see some of those new songs. And then on the pool deck and everything, like that was pretty cool because it was like freaking, it was like raining.
Yeah.
And like
it was the second day.
And
it was like, oh crap, weather is starting to attack us.
And it's funny because I think both shows started with that Bones song, And so Ian and I were kind of joking that like, help me out here, the vocalist.
Tommy Yotzen.
Yeah, I was like joking, like, because we were up at the front for this Amorphous show, and I was like joking, like, watch, Tommy is just like Bones, oh fuck, it's cold. Bones, oh get me out of here. Because it was cold, and it was dude.
We were cold. We were waiting there in the front, like leaning on the bar, and it was freezing.
Yeah, it was cold, man. But it's like we were just rocking out and singing along and everything, and like, dude, Amorphous put on a great show in the rain and everything. Like
they were real troopers, man. Like the guitarist was like wiping his guitar down and stuff in between songs and stuff. Like it was pouring rain during that second show. Both shows were pretty amazing. I liked it, and it was cool. Like I think my favorite songs to see live was probably that Borderland album,
right?
As well as Death of a King in the Rain was pretty freaking epic.
That was cool.
Well, we were just freaking.
I'm glad they did Wrong Direction on the first show because they didn't do that on the Halo tour that we were at, And then also the Bee sounded great. They did the Bee on both shows because we heard the Bee when they were doing their Halo tour.
Yeah.
But something with the venue, it just didn't sound that great. It sounded a little muffled, and it sounded a lot cleaner this time around. So,
that's true.
Yeah, a lot of great songs, man. Next is Anthrax. You want to take this one away?
Sure. Yeah. Anthrax was great. We went to the first show, and then we saw some of the second show. We did skip out a little bit after like the first show though, because we wanted to get early for another one.
Right.
But we did see most of that first show, and dude, they played like all the hits. They played a lot of catchy. It was just awesome, just seeing everybody singing along and stuff. Like the energy was great for Anthrax, especially in the Royal Theater. And it was kind of funny because the freaking Scott Ian dude kept going, "You with the duck hat, are you metal?
Are you metal?
Are you freaking metal?
Do you love thrash metal?
Do you love thrash metal?" That was pretty funny.
Well, because like that's the thing. It's like he was saying it like in the first show. I don't remember who he was talking to in the Royal Theater.
Yeah.
He was talking to someone like saying like, "Are you too cool for thrash metal?" or something.
Yeah.
I forget. But then like at the second show, as we were leaving, we hear him say, "Hey, you with the duck hat? Do you like thrash metal?"
Yeah.
And it was like
funny, a way
man.
to introduce the Metal Thrashing Mad song, I guess, or something. But it was just really funny, you know. But they put on a great show. They were awesome.
And that's the thing, is I'm not like a big Anthrax guy, but seeing them live made me want to like
get more
into them, because I'm always going to Testament or Megadeth or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't listen to a lot of Anthrax.
I listened to a little bit of Anthrax, but whenever they're announced, I started listening to Anthrax pretty hard, like listening to all their albums and like wanting to get more familiar and stuff. Because I was like, in high school, I never listened to Anthrax. They were always a part of the Big Four and stuff. Big Five with Testament. Yeah. But like, I just never really like got into them, and it wasn't until like just this last year that I'm like, okay, Anthrax has a lot of really cool stuff, and like actually kind of sort of became a low key fan of Anthrax, you know. And they were fun. I never thought we'd really see them, so that was great.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know if I'd really pay a ticket to go see Anthrax by themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
But anyways. You know, call me out, whatever. So next,
are you metal, Kevin?
Are you thrash metal, Kevin? Would you buy an Anthrax ticket? You know, the next is Arcona. Now, this one we only saw one show, and Arcona was pretty cool, man. And they were the female fronted like vocalist band that I was most excited about. And we saw the show in the Royal Theater and everything.
Yeah.
And like I don't know her name or anything, but dude, she was like this ghost, because like when she'd be singing and stuff, she'd be tilting back with her hand outstretched. She's just like
all haunting.
Whoa. You know, and I was just like, yeah, like, because I'm just tired of the whole like, ooh, you know, whatever. Like I'm tired of like the normal female what. Anyways, we're gonna talk about a lot more bands.
We already said we're not big fans of Attitude,
you know, but like, because like we'll get to it. We'll talk about some of the others when we get there.
Yeah.
But Arcona was like my favorite band out of the female bands, because it's like it was so like otherworldly and ghostly and haunting, instead of going for the epic. But hey, you know, I can sing death metal better than you. You know what I mean? Like I wanted something like. Wanted something different, you know what I mean? And it's
Arcona was pretty good.
And Arcona, I feel like they really delivered something unique. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's something unique.
I agree.
No Disney metal, no Arch Enemy 2.0, 3.0, whatever. Yeah. Like just something different, you know? Yeah. So forgive me, you know, just call me out.
I have opinions.
Call me out, say, hey, do you like thrash metal? Like, I don't know. Anyways, I'll stop talking or else.
I'll stop talking before everyone hates me. No, but like I think that's valid. Like I feel like people can have tastes and like and dislike different things.
Right.
And I if someone's offended that you don't like what they like, then oh well. Like,
and that's the
welcome
thing.
to the real world. Like, you're not gonna have everyone agree with you all the time.
And that's the thing. Like I could be won over. Like, you know, like Seven Spires, and like I could be one. I do need to give certain bands a chance, because I love like Nightwish. Nightwish is great.
Battle Beast
and I love Battle Beast. You know, heck, I like that Crypteria album. You know, the Blood Angels Cry
Within Temptation. Oh my gosh, we're running out. No.
But it's just that like I think like the Delanes and the Xandrias and stuff, it feels like carbon copies of stuff I've already heard. Same thing with Epica. I'm not the biggest Epica guy.
Don't let Ryan tell you hear that. Just skip this portion, Ryan.
But regardless, let's move on to the next band. Take it away, bro. Beast in Black.
Oh, Beast in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like Beast in Black. So Beast in Black was supposed to go on after Amorphous' second show, like In the Rain or whatever. So they told us like a half an hour before the Beast in Black show came on. They're like, yeah, the band can't perform. The rain is too crazy. Dude, we were in the front. And there was like a river on the stage, man. It was crazy. They're like mopping it and sweeping it. Squeegeeing it. And there was like a river. And I was just like, there's a lot of electricity on this stage. And we're like holding on to this metal bar. Like, I don't know if that's stupid, but it was just kind of we were joking a lot about how like dangerous this might be, but who knows? Maybe modern technology, you could have all this stuff that's water resistant and stuff, you know, which I'm pretty sure they did because they were re-entrenched and playing guitar still. But anyway, so they canceled it, and instead they did it in the Royal Theater at like 4:30 in the morning or something that day.
5:15.
It was really late, and they put on an amazing show. It was awesome. The Antonin guy, I guess, wasn't there on the cruise, so they only had 4 members. But honestly, it sounded amazing. It sounded great. They put on a great show. We were dead tired because that was like a pretty long day. But yeah, it was. Excuse me, it was great, and dude. Enter the Behelit or whatever song, like that one might have been my favorite. Like that was awesome. Opening with The Power of the Beast was great. Like, and even hearing just some, like I could probably see them do One Night in Tokyo every show, and I would still enjoy it because that one's probably my favorite song from them. And it's just a blast. Like both shows were amazing. I think the next show is like the day after, and they made a joke or whatever about, doing 2 shows in the same day because literally it's in the same 24-hour process or whatever.
That's how Amorphous was too.
Yeah.
Because they had to change it up because of the storm and changing up day 2 and day 3 and you all know, you all were there. But with Beast in Black, my favorite part is like the first show. I don't know who it was, but like he was like, well, my friends, we've got one more song to do for you.
Show, but
I thought it was the first one, the early morning. Maybe it was the
second one.
Yeah, because they were in the Royal Theater for both shows.
But they were,
Yeah, you're right. It was the second show. It was, because we were up at High for that second show. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. Anyways, call me out. Whatever.
You know, like
so in the second show, like there's some person up at front, and like the main vocalist guy was like, oh, we got one more song for you, and he's like, 2 more, and he's like, oh, what is 2 more songs out? And then he's like, 3 more, and he's like, we went from 1 song to 2 songs to 3, and then he was just like, you are a very good businessman, what's your name? And he was, I guess his name was Jose or whatever, and like everybody in the crowd started saying, Jose, 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 and
that was hilarious.
And dude, that was that. I like the live setting for like random shenanigans like that. You know what I mean? Like that's just pretty funny, And then he was like, you know what? All of you will be Jose for today. But there can only be one good businessman, And so that was really cool. Like, we've seen Beast in Black before, back in 2022 or whatever. And like, I was hoping they would play Crazy Mad Insane, even like Eternal Fire, something like just a little bit more off of the first album, even like End of the World or something, They didn't play those, but I was really happy that they played No Surrender, because they didn't play No Surrender back in 2022. So that was probably the song that I was most excited about, and they played it for both shows, so that was cool.
That was pretty dope.
Some people are
not amazing live. They're like in my top 5 as far as performances go. Like they were pretty flawless, and the singer was all flipping, or the drummer was all flipping his sticks while playing. Like just putting on a good show.
Yeah. Next is Blood Red Hourglass.
You could talk about them.
I don't have much to say about Blood Red Hourglass. They were okay. We only went to the Studio B show, but we stayed for most of it, if not all of it. Like we stayed for a good bit of it. They were okay, I guess they're from Finland or whatever, and like they've kind of got this mesh of like melodic death metal, but also like
metalcore, maybe
even like a new metal kind of a thing. Like I don't know, they just seemed very normal to some extent, and really relying on like the choruses and stuff with the vocalist. And so I don't know, it was a good show, but it wasn't my favorite. But
I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't listen to them a little bit before the cruise, but I'm definitely not like a big fan or anything. And I enjoyed them. I thought they were pretty good, and it was just a fun show. I agreed. Some parts did remind me, like when we were in the theater, we're like, this reminds me of like something like Spineshank or something. Yeah, it just had that very kind of just catchy sort of like new metal, alt metal, metalcore, melodic death metal hybrid or something. I don't know. I thought they were pretty good though.
Next is Cemetery Skyline. Now, we only actually went to one show for Cemetery Skyline, and I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so that album is great. Like, I enjoyed that album, the Nordic Gothic album, but seeing some of them live, like, I don't know, it just wasn't as entertaining and stuff. Like, and I think that's kind of the problem with live music for me. If a band is playing stuff that's kind of normal and stuff, unless I really, really love the song and I can sing along, that's fine, that's great. But I don't know, I feel like the bands that are like death metal or black metal or whatever, or power metal, they're doing a lot more on the stage, and it's just more visually entertaining to see everyone busting out and going wild and stuff. It's just more entertaining. Like, they sounded fine, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, I don't have much to add for Cemetery Skyline. Like I know for some people it was really cool and everything, but for us it just wasn't hitting for us at that time. So it is what it is. Okay, next we've got Darkane. All right, here we go.
Go ahead, bro.
So there's a lot to talk about with Darkane. So they're the main reason why we went on the cruise, right? And so when we go to the first show,
I was wearing these shirts.
when we go to their first show, they were the first ones to play in the Royal Theater. It was like 10 in the morning, and we go to the 3rd floor and everything, and the doors are all locked. And then I tell Ian, I was like, I bet you it's not locked on the 4th floor. So we go up to the 4th floor, enter the balconies, and then just take that staircase down and go up to the front, you know? And like, dude, for like the longest time, it was just us two. Like we were there like 45 minutes early.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, went super early because we were like very paranoid about like, we got to get in the freaking front. So both Dark Age shows, we went like 45 minutes early for both of them.
And that's the thing. Like we weren't trying to be like obnoxious. We weren't trying to be like loud and whatever. Because I understand like you've got the sound people trying to do their freaking job, trying to do the sound check and everything, you know. But we couldn't help it, you know, like we're like sitting there, we're standing there, and then Peter Wildoer is just kind of like, hey, t-shirts, you know. And I don't know how much Darkane was expecting people to turn out for their shows or not, you know what I mean? I don't know what they were expecting, like in terms of like
crowd engagement
support
or anything.
Yeah, exactly, support for them. But we were there and we were like, dude, we're supporting you guys, like we're here to rock out and everything, you know. And so that was just really cool. And the thing that was really cool is like they played 2 full songs while they were warming up and everything. You know, they did Secondary Effects, and then the second song, what was the second one?
Chaos vs. Order.
Oh yeah, they did Chaos vs. Order. So they practiced those 2 songs, and it's so funny
because like 2 free songs for the sound check. Like it was just it was sick.
And like Ian and I were just freaking rocking out and everything, you know, and like it was cool to see them in their element and everything, you know. That show was freaking awesome, man. That was one of my favorite shows, you know. I do think I liked the second Darkane show more though, because like the second Darkane show, they played a little bit more of like Expanding Senses. Like they played Innocence Gone and also the Solitary Confinement. Exactly. So and that's the thing that I loved with Darkane too, is like both shows were completely different except for the one song, Convicted. That was the only song that they played at both.
There's other bands that repeated like 3 or 4 songs in both shows, and it's like if you've already seen the first show, it's a little bit like not as exciting if you're just seeing the same song again, you know. So I'm glad Darkane did pretty much different set lists, both ones.
And it, dude, like we were just like screaming our heads off and everything, like we were going wild, you know. And it's like, so in that second one, dude, when they started, like they started with Inhuman Spirits, but then the second song was Innocence Gone, and dude, I was just freaking headbanging, like, dude, it was sick, man.
Dude, it was sick.
And I feel bad for anyone who wasn't aware of Darkane and like missed them or whatever, because like, man, like they haven't toured the U.S. in like forever, so it was just a great opportunity for us to see them. But I'll let you take it away.
I agree, man. Darkane was some of my favorite shows, and I mean, me and Kevin got into them back when we were in high school and stuff, like 20-25 years ago, and it was just so magical to see these songs live and rocking out and stuff, and just, dude, the guitarists were amazing, the drummers amazing, the bass was cool, like the singer did a great job, like everybody was just like rocking out and just having fun and stuff, you know. And I don't know, like, Solitary Confinement and Innocence Gone were probably some of my favorite moments. And then on the first show, Secondary Effects was another, like, I was freaking going crazy and stuff. And, like, maybe I should upload maybe some of those videos I took, you know, like on our YouTube channel or something. But, dude, it really was magic. And even the new songs were amazing, too. Like,
the Mansion of Torture was great live. Like, that was sweet, you know. Even Awakenings was great live.
That was great,
you know, that was sweet. And that's the thing, is like I've been really enjoying their 2022 album lately. Like for the past like 3 months, I've been playing it like back to back.
Non-stop.
And it's a great album, you know. And so I know like we fell in love with like the Andrea Sidow era and everything, but it's like I'm learning to enjoy like all of their vocalists and everything, because I've also been listening more to Demonic Art and everything lately, and it's like. But even like, I guess his first name was Tobias, whatever, the new vocalist who was there on the cruise, like shout out to that guy, because like, you know, it's not easy to just, you know, be thrust into 70,000 Tons of Metal as like, you know, some live performances and everything. But I thought he did great live, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, is like Darkane, like I think that they're definitely, they're that weird mix of like prog, thrash, you know, death metal, like they combine so many elements into their music that I think maybe for some people they just don't know what they're even about when they listen to it. They don't know what to expect, you know.
They're definitely a very unique sounding band, and having all the different kinds of vocalists and stuff, like it's like I can't think of a band that sounds exactly like Darkane, because I could think of like some like similar-ish, like Soulwork and maybe a little Carnal Forge or something, but nobody sounds like Darkane.
No,
you know, there's something about the way their riffs and their lead melodies and stuff, and their drumming. Like a lot of these things are just very. That's what Darkane sounds like, and it was awesome to see him live.
And I guess last bit we did do the meet and greets for Darkane and everything. It was cool because we got like a bunch of stuff from Aggritator sign, as well as like the Darkane stuff sign and the non-human level sign, and like just talking to them was really cool to pick their brain about, you know, guitar or drums or whatever. And it was funny because it's like I will always be grateful to Peter Wildoer because he's the drummer who got me into like guttural vocals. And the reason why is because that Arch Enemy Stigmata album is like one of the early, like that along with Expanding Senses, you know, same thing with Dark Tranquillity, Damage Done. Like those are some of those early, you know, albums that kind of got me into that stuff. But I remember listening to the Stigmata album and being like, dude, this drummer is sick. And so I fell in love with Peter Wildoer's drumming. And so I told Peter at the meet and greet, I was like, dude, you're my favorite part of Arch Enemy. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, I after Wages of Sin, I just don't care about Arch Enemy. I don't care about, you know, the past 20 years of their stuff, you know. I miss all of the Johan Leva days of Arch Enemy, you know. Anyways, side tangent. I told Peter at the meet and greet, you're my favorite part of Arch Enemy. So I thought that was just kind of funny. But before we move on, should we wrap up Darkane? Anything else you wanted to add about Darkane? Or?
No,
because
it really was a dream come true to see them live. Like,
and all of them did freaking great, man. Yeah. Dark Tranquillity. Go ahead and take it away, bro.
Dark Tranquillity was another one that was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, Darkane was also like, in the top 5. Like just Beast in Black, Darkane, and also Dark Tranquillity.
And at the end, I guess we'll talk about our favorite experiences.
Right.
Least favorite experiences, and then unexpected.
Yeah.
And we could talk about the funny stuff along the way.
Yeah.
Dark Tranquillity. I'd been listening to that. So along with Darkane, Dark Tranquillity is one of the earliest like melodic death metal bands I ever got into, and I remember listening to a lot of those albums a lot. And I never thought I would listen to like seeing songs like The Gallery and stuff live, you know, from that album. I didn't think I would ever see some of those songs. So the fact they did the first show in the Royal Theater with The Gallery and the Character albums kind of focused or whatever,
that was cool.
That was freaking amazing. Like I was just like it sounded amazing. We were in the kind of the you know, the balconies here, and then there's like this little downstairs little middle area. We were sitting there and the sound was just amazing. And dude, hearing them go through Punish by Heaven, Eden Spring, The Dividing Line, Letha, and The Emptiness from Which I Fed, which is such an awesome, like those 5 songs are like my favorite songs from the album, you know. Like the rest of the album is great, like the album is amazing, but it was like a perfect, like, hey Ian, we're gonna do all the songs you like the most from that album. And even having the keyboards be a more strong presence in those songs, because it wasn't as much on the album, was just phenomenal and amazing. And that first show, it was the most saddest concert I've ever been to. Like it was just because in the last song he was like, you know, we're done doing Dark Tranquillity material, now we're going to do one more song. And Michael mentioned that, you know, his friend Thomas Lindbergh passed away, you know, from cancer, and he mentioned that they're going to do the, you know, Blinded by Fear song, and just, you know, basically as like a celebration of his friend, you know. And it was just such a moving tribute, and I think everyone in the audience was like getting tears in their eyes because it was just so moving. And we all like stood up and clapped while the rest of the band left, but Michael just stood on stage for like a good minute or two, and we're all just like clapping and kind of just like feeling like just immense emotion, you know, like our loved ones and stuff just mean so much to all of us, you know, like wherever you are in the world, your loved ones make a big impact on who you are. And it's just cool that a lot of this kind of music makes such a big impact on all of us, you know. Like it's wonder. I love when people share their talents and music with the world and stuff. I think it's just so awesome.
Well, and that's one reason why I love going to live shows and everything, because it's like you know, we're all getting older and everything, and the older I get, the more I'm like, dude, like there might not be a tomorrow kind of thing, you know. And it's going to be sad whenever like a lot of these other like band members pass away from old age or disease or whatever, you know. So it's kind of like just trying to appreciate what you have now, and like it just makes me like want to just go on the next cruise and everything, because you just never know what you're going to miss out. And I'm glad that we saw that show with DT, because it's like that's like a I know they've been doing Blinded by Fear. I know they've done that at other shows and stuff. Yeah, exactly. But it was still unique in the sense not like this and not on the boat and whatever. Like it's just a very unique experience. So Yeah.
And the second show of DT was okay. They had a lot of sound problems. The set list was good. Like they kind of played most of like their more well-known songs and stuff. It was a good selection of material.
Yeah.
But the sound kept crapping out. But they were troopers though. Dark Tranquillity, you guys freaking rock because it was freezing out there.
It was cold.
The bass player was like wearing short sleeves and he was still like rocking out and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, kudos to you guys for rocking out. Like it was the last show of the cruise and yeah. So Dark Tranquillity, like honestly, Darkade and Dark Tranquillity were some of my favorites as far as live, as well as some that we'll get to.
Yeah. So moving on, Dod Heimsgard. We saw one show of Dod Heimsgard, and it was in the Pyramid Lounge, and that was pretty cool. I'm not really familiar with their music or anything, and
I'm like a casual fan.
It's like they were pretty good, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get more into them. Who knows? You know, it's just they didn't quite win me over, but nevertheless,
I agree. It was okay. Like it was like kind of cool, but not as. I think sometimes like when you listen to an album, an artist a ton, and you know the material, I think seeing it live hits more than if you're like, okay, I don't know this song, they're playing something, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dragonland, we saw one show, and it was in the Royal Theater. Like, we saw, like, probably, like, 2/3 of it or so, you know?
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool because, dude, I always love it when, like, keyboard players, like, have their keyboard tilted towards you so that you can see what their hands are doing.
Yeah, that keyboardist was awesome.
And it was, you know, man, I haven't listened to Dragonland in a long, long time because, like, we got into them, like, 20 plus years ago.
High school, but we were never, like, huge fans.
Right. Because we were always listening to the Sonata or Stradivarius or Halloween or whatever. We just, you know, like, we knew of Dragonland, heard them a little bit and everything. It was cool to see them live, but... It was just cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, because like some of these bands, it's like...
Not the worst show, but not the best show. Just kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. And it's like, maybe I'll get more into it. Who knows? We'll see. Next is Dust Bolt. We missed Dust Bolt. I actually wouldn't have minded, maybe in hindsight, giving some of these thrash bands more of a chance, like Hyrax and Dust Bolt, you know? Yeah. But it's just hard with the conflict of scheduling, you know? So we missed them. Then Elvate. We saw one show for Elvate, and I guess I speak for both of us. It was okay. The problem with it is it's like we were watching the poolside show, and it was just that it was on day 4. It was kind of towards the end of it and everything. We're already kind of
like tired,
and
there's only so much musical saturation anyone can have too, you know.
And we're not the biggest Elvate fans, you know. Like we've heard little bits here and there and whatever. I was hoping that they would like win us over, but it seemed like they mostly did like, I guess, is it fair to say mostly they did newer material kind of thing?
Like, I remember them playing like 1 or 2 songs from that newest album or whatever. And I don't know, for me, like I like the female vocals in the band, but to me I kind of like more the melodic death metal songs with the guy vocalist more in Elvate sound. And it seemed like from the show, I mean, we didn't see the entire show, but it seemed like they were focusing on songs that more had her singing more so, whereas he was like playing the banjo or something. And
I mean,
I don't know, it was fine, but yeah.
I mean, it is cool that they got the violin and the flute player guy and all of that. Like that's still cool, but yeah. Arab Altar, we didn't see them. Firewind, we saw a little bit of like one show. It was just okay, you know. Like I didn't really care for the vocalist as much, and I've never been a big Firewind kind of guy. It's just kind of there for me, you know. Hasn't really clicked. And then next is Gamma Bomb. We didn't see them either, along with Dust Bolt and everybody else.
We didn't see half the people.
Groza, we did see, I guess, like one show.
And then a very tiny bit of the second one, but I liked them. I thought they were pretty good. And I'd been listening to them. I did want to see like that Nader album, but I think it like conflicted with another band, so it was kind of like, I was like, oh, that's okay. But the first show, I thought it was pretty good. I like when bands have these melancholic little passages and then just start busting out or whatever. Like, it was fun seeing them.
Haggard, we did see one show of Haggard, and like for them, man, I've been trying to listen to Haggard for the past like 18 years or so, because like I'm a big prog guy, so in the prog realm you're gonna come across people talking about Haggard from time to time, and I've tried listening to them over the years. I just haven't been able to get into them, and seeing it live, it was cool to see live. You know, I like all the different instrumentation. It's just that the melodies and the ideas don't speak to me. You know, like it was great playing and everything,
Yeah,
but I wanted
doesn't do
something.
much.
Yeah, I wanted something that would connect with me more. You know,
I think in some ways, like, I mean, yeah, I love all kinds of music, but honestly, growing up with a lot of pop music as a little kid and stuff, I do think like melody is something really important. So like, for me, a lot of Haggard stuff just sounds very like like it just sounds too medieval sounding and stuff, and it just doesn't really like. I don't know. Those melodies just don't do a whole lot for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it, yeah, like it, just like you, entertaining a bit, but yeah, not a band I could really get into.
Harakiri for the Sky. We did see one show. It was the first show, and they were pretty good. I guess this is one of your surprises.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed them more than I thought I would because anytime I see something called post metal, I'm like, oh gosh, you mean that genre where they take like 9 minutes to do a song, and then it's just kind of like a bunch of ambience and build ups and whatever, and it just like I don't know. So like, anyways, that's all I knew about them before was like, oh, black gaze and post metal crap. So I was just a little bit like I wanted to see them just to see if they could win me over, and then seeing them live, I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I liked that the vocalist, like it, obviously their music is based on like suicide or like kill or just like the I don't know agonies and stuff of the human experience and stuff. And they kind of portrayed that pretty well live, I'd say. But I liked just hearing some of the pianos over the PA. Like I think their albums probably have more instrumentation than what they could do live, so they have it re-recorded over or something. Yeah. But I don't know. I was impressed. I thought they were pretty good. I could see myself getting more into them in the future because I'm not familiar with their work really.
Heathen. Heathen's a band that I wanted to see, and we did see a bit of like one show. But again, there were conflicts and things, so we weren't able to see as much as we wanted to. You know. And let me know if they did play that song like No Stone Unturned or whatever, because that's the song that like I was hoping they would play. But we only stayed for like 2 or 3 songs, and then we had to get somewhere else, Yeah. And so let me know in the comment section if they did play that song, to be like, haha, let me know. Yeah. But anyways, it was pretty good from what I heard. Just didn't see a lot, High Raise. We didn't really see High Raise, just skipped. Hyrax, same thing. Didn't see them. Hour of Penance.
Didn't see them.
Didn't see them. Ignia.
Didn't see them.
Passed. Okay, this is the era that we didn't see a lot of stuff. So
didn't see
Ill Disposed. Didn't see Illumishade. We didn't see In Mourning. Didn't see Insomnium. Okay, now we can act like we know what we're talking about. Insomnium, we did see both shows. You know what I mean? And like that was cool that they did that full album.
Yeah.
And
that was fun.
Dude, I've tried to, because we got into Insomnium back when they only had their first 2 albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. There's elements of Insomnium that I like, but I've just never been the biggest Insomnium fan. I gravitate more towards, like, Mors Principium Est or something, more so than I would Insomnium. And I don't know. I was hoping that, like, seeing them live would help me get into them, but I'm still a little hesitant. Like, I don't know. Anyways, the shows were good, but I was hoping for something to really win me over. But what did you think of the shows?
I liked the first show a lot. It was nice. It was one of the later shows on day 3, and it was just really cool seeing them with that whole backdrop and just playing that whole album. It did have some magical moments, and I really I listened to that album a ton before the concert because I wanted to be familiar with it, and it was enjoyable to just see that whole album played. The second one over the pool deck, I think we saw like half of it. And they played most of the songs that I wanted to see on that one already in the first half. So I was kind of like, I was happy with that, But yeah, I agree with you in the sense that, Insomnium kind of has their thing and they roll with it, And it's definitely a mood band. Like, I have to be in the mood to really, really love it. But sometimes they really do hit hard for me,
Yeah.
But
In Virtue, we didn't see. Isagrim, we did not see. Jagdpanzer, we didn't see.
That one I regret a little bit because I kind of want to I kind of wanted to, but I'm not a big fan of them. Like I don't really know their stuff or anything, so I'm kind of like I'm a newbie when it comes to Jagdpanzer's music. But the fact that they did the Ample Destruction album or whatever, and I understand the old head metalhead people are like, bro, you got a chance to see that? You didn't see it? What kind of metalhead are you? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like I kind of wish I at least.
What kind of metalhead are you? Now,
You know?
yeah, I don't know if they. I think some people say Jagdpanzer, some people say Jagdpanzer, whatever. Like it's. We didn't see the shows. You know, like,
yeah, that's like, one that I regret. That I wish we were able to see it, and but what can you do?
Yeah. And then next is Kamelot. We did see both Kamelot shows. Kamelot's a band that's really near and dear to our hearts and everything, you know? I mean, because we're from like the Tampa area, so Kamelot is a big deal to us. And I hadn't seen Kamelot in like 10 years, you know what I mean? And for you hadn't seen them since the Ghost Opera tour, you know? And I'd say the first show was pretty good, you know, in the Royal Theater. The second show really bothered me, man. Like, dude, Tommy was like forgetting some of the words to like Center of the Universe, and then they did a bunch of repeat songs from the first one, and then they did all the like. I don't care about the stupid Mechanical Babylon, whatever that new song is. Like, I don't care. Like, some of the songs that they picked, it's like they did it twice, and I was just like, oh man, like I wanted more Fourth Legacy, more Karma, more Epica, more like I would have been great with like Farewell.
There just was more variety,
and
because they literally repeated what Forever, New Babylon. Freaking, they did Rule the World twice.
Insomnium twice.
I think, that one. They did March Mephisto twice. Like, they did, like, 5 or 6 songs, like, in both shows. So it's kind of like you're almost seeing most of the show again, you know?
And that's the thing. It's like I said, I love Kamelot, and it hurts me to say, but I think they were probably the biggest disappointment for me. Because it's like, we were there on the Black Halo tour, you know what I mean? And Ghost Opera tour, and it's like I just felt like it just felt like just another show. Yeah. You know, it didn't feel special, just another show. Yeah. And then Melissa Bonney would come out and do her thing, and I don't know what the deal is. You know what I mean? There's a disconnect that I feel with this newer Kamelot, you know, versus maybe it's just that I'm
too
just
much of the old
stuck.
School.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
You know,
I still like newer Kamelot, but I was a little disappointed that it wasn't more variety in the shows.
I wanted to try and bring back some of that magic that I you know, that love and magic that I have for Kamelot. You know what I mean? And so, anyways, I wish all of the band members the best, all of them real well and everything. I don't want to. Like I said, it hurts me, but I was just a little disappointed with the show.
I feel like the band still played pretty well, like live. Like the drums, keys, everybody played pretty well. But there was just some choices that maybe are less like And the fact that they did the whole farewell thing, sing with me kind of crowd thing, that takes up like 10 minutes of a show. Right, yeah. And you're doing
the whole forever, like
forever. Or not farewell. Forever is what I meant. Yeah.
Right.
It's just kind of like, bro, like we taught us in the first show. Like I don't need to sing forever with you again. Like, come on, just do a new damn song.
And the other thing too is like cutting out the keyboard solo out of March of Mephisto is a sin, man. Yeah. Like that's both sin. Times. Like what the Anyways, let's just move on because I was frustrated. Yeah. All right, Cannon and Fever. If you want to take this one away.
I'll take it away. Dude, Cannon and Fever was amazing. They're probably my top 3 of favorite shows, along with DT and Darkane. Cannon and Fever was up there. And like, we had heard them before, like, you know, but we weren't like the biggest Cannon and Fever fans. They're a band that I do think that they are better live than they are on the album. And the reason why is because, like, they sound amazing, but also with the whole, like, granted, I'm not like a, you know, costumes means everything. Right. But, dude, when it comes to storytelling, the fact that these guys are singing in German and stuff, you still could understand what they're kind of talking about because of, like, the sort of pantomime sort of, like, impressions that he's making. It's like, it's very theatrical. It's very just, like, performative. And I love when bands do that. I love when bands, like, kind of go all out that way. I know they did, like, a couple repeat songs, but I actually didn't mind it because, like, I just enjoyed the sort of storytelling that was happening on stage. And the first show inside the Studio B, that show was so we were sitting in kind of in the middle area for that show. And then on the pool deck, we were in the front on the right. So it was kind of like we had 2 sort of different experiences. Because sometimes when if you're going to 70K, if you want like to hear the band better, it's better to probably sit like more like in the chairs or something. Sure. The sound quality is better. But if you want kind of more of the action and whatnot, it's more fun to be in the front. Even though, the sound quality is lesser in the very front or whatever. I loved them. I thought that show in the Studio B was just magical. There was something about it that just like it really pulled me in, and yeah, they were fantastic, both shows.
I agree with you. Like it's like I feel a bit like it's a band that's hard not to love kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because it was just so enjoyable and engrossing. You know what I mean? It was so engrossing, and like you're definitely more of like the blackened death metal kind of guy. You're more into like those. Like I'm like the prog power kind of guy usually. But like, yeah, it was great live, all of the different changing, different uniforms
and stuff,
and I could see myself listening to those two albums more and getting more into them. And honestly, like out of the bands that are like just shooting up in terms of popularity, like Beast in Black is definitely shooting up a lot, and also Cannon and Fever is shooting up a lot. And
I can see why after these two concerts and stuff. I'm like, dude, they put in their all. They put on great shows. Like, they're definitely like go. If they're not already there, they're going places. Yeah, if they're not already freaking there.
Leaves Eyes. We saw both shows for Leaves Eyes, and we were kind of disappointed with both shows. And we've seen Leaves Eyes. Like we saw them back in 2016. We don't have we don't have to for them. But. Yeah, we don't have to tell that story. But it's like. But they're another band that like I feel like they're always trying to push. It feels like they're always just trying to push the new stuff and everything. And it's like I would love it if Leaves Eyes was just like let's just play all of Lovelorn. You know what I mean? Because I'm mostly familiar with their first two albums. And it's like the new stuff is just a little generic. Yeah, a little straightforward. Okay. And it's just okay. So they were just okay, but then we went off and ate pizza or something.
I agree. Like it was fine.
Do real quick for Cannon and Fever, do you want to tell that story with the?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, what's so funny is like later on, I think in that same day, me and Kevin were like in the pizza, or were we in the pizza place? I can't remember exactly where we were.
I think so.
We were either I don't know. Remember we were somewhere, and we could overhear these two guys talking. And one of them was like, dude, man, I heard Cannon and Fever put on a good show. And the other guy's just like, dude, man, I was like, came here to see them. And then like, I missed it because like I had to get pizza. And I don't know why, but like, I was just like, I had to get pizza. And then the other guy's like, yeah, I missed them too. And whatever. And in my mind, I was just like thinking, I think we were sitting inside the Royal Theater, and
you're right,
talking about this. Yeah. But I just, but it was just so sad, but also kind of funny that it was just like, oh man, my favorite show's coming up.
Gotta get some pizza
right there. Yeah. I need to get some pizza. It just became a running joke with us of like, so hey Kevin, should we go see this show or should we grab pizza?
Right. Well, the thing too is it's like imagine if like we went on the cruise mostly to see Darkane, and imagine if we missed both Darkane shows because we were like, oh well, I wanted to get some pizza.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think most I think there's a lot of people that are a little more loosey goosey when they're on the cruise. They're drinking, they're eating, they're having a good time, and then where'd the time go kind of thing. Whereas you and I were like, okay,
what time is it? We gotta get all these shows.
One start.
Exactly.
Let's go. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like we were much more regimented.
Yeah, true.
And so,
but I just remember thinking that was just so funny, like in a very sad way.
Yeah,
like I felt sorry for him, but I also was laughing because it just sounded like the worst. I was like, man, this guy made the worst decision you can make on this cruise. Like I can't think of it any worse than. Maybe Skeletal Remains making the worst decision.
It's like you. It's like if it profiteth a man that he sell his soul for the world, but for pizza. But for pizza. Yeah, that's kind of
nothing if he sells his soul for the world. Yeah,
but for pizza. Yeah. Mini Pony. We didn't see Mini Pony. They're a band that I actually haven't heard anybody really talk about.
Yeah,
like I feel like
I
forgot they were even on.
Yeah, I listened to them a tiny bit before, but I just wasn't feeling it.
So Orden Ogan. So Orden Ogan was one of those 2010s power metal band that I've tried getting into and everything. We did see one show, and they actually kind of won. Yeah. I think won us both over. Like they were putting on a pretty good show.
They were pretty good, yeah.
And I guess like the vocalist was like what the Metal Church vocalist guy or whatever. So it wasn't maybe that's why the songs were better. I don't know. But it was pretty good. They put on a pretty good show.
Like Orden Ogan and Harry Carey for the Sky were the two shows that I wasn't familiar with the bands like really at all. Like I'd heard tiny bits, but not a ton. I couldn't name a song,
Yeah,
but both of them kind of, I know, but both of them could, like kind of, I could see myself getting more into them down the road or something.
Paradise Lost. So we saw one show. We were planning on seeing both shows, but then we got some pizza. I'm messing. No, I remember there was some kind of conflict or something going on the final day. But anyways, the oh, go ahead.
Like the little bit of the first show, and this goes back to the whole problem of like, man, doom metal is just a little rough to see live because it's just like a little bit slower and stuff. So we did see some of that first show. The second one was actually kind of a benefit because we skipped the second show to eat at the dining hall because we just kind of wanted a break and wanted to just get a good meal on our last day. But while we were there, we met like two other metalheads that were from where, like close to where we live, and both of them like grew up with a lot of the same background that we did. They loved a lot of the same music, and that was what was cool about this cruise too. Is we met a lot of cool like people and stuff. Like I think in my first cruise, your second cruise, we were more so in our own friend group. We weren't really like talking to any. Yeah, there was like six of us. So it was kind of like we were just hanging with our own crowd. And this one we met just like some really cool people. But yeah, eating dinner and talking, apologies to the other three people at that table, but we were just talking to Matt and Ryan, and they were both just such awesome dudes. And yeah, it was cool to just have so much in common musically and just like so shout out to Matt and Ryan.
Cool shout out to those two guys because you guys freaking made this cruise even more magical, and like we exchanged like our phone numbers and stuff, and like we'll probably see some shows together like down the road or whatever. But like man, that's the thing, like I'm reminded of like there's some cool people on 70,000 Tons, and generally like I keep to myself. I don't really talk to nobody. I don't bother nobody,
That Thomas guy was like kind of cool too.
Yeah, Thomas was cool. We kept seeing him at like the Dark Cane, and he was at Cadonan Fever too. Same thing with, we met these two guys from Costa Rica, shout out to Daniel and Christopher, from Costa Rica. Daniel always had that pink shirt on, and he's like, so we met some pretty cool cats, and, but one final cool cat that it will remain unnamed because I don't know this guy's name, but we were going to Paradise Lost and we were in the elevator riding up to floor 11, and we stop at like 5, 6, 7, whatever it was, and this guy comes in and he's like, is this the elevator to Paradise Lost? Destination being sad, and I just thought that was like the funniest thing. I don't know who this guy was or whatever, but like he seemed like a cool guy. So
he made us chuckle.
Yeah, so Paradise Lost, we saw a bit of that one show, but not much to say with them, so yeah, Persephone, we didn't see Persephone. Pyrexia was the band that was supposed to be on, but they weren't there, so of course we didn't see them. Rhapsody of Fire, we just saw Rhapsody like 4 months ago or something, so they were the band that like normally we'd see both shows, but this time we only saw one show, and we had other things going on, and so the show we did see was pretty good. Like they're great live, their vocalist guy's really good. Like out of the power metal vocalists, I think the Beast in Black guy and the Rhapsody of Fire guy were probably like two of my favorites.
They both were really good. Yeah, I agree.
Royal Hunt, we didn't see them. That was a band that we were gonna try and see, but just conflicts. Satan, we saw one show, and I wish I saw both shows. Because I guess one show they did most of the Chord in the Act album, but we saw the show in the Studio B, and dude, it sounded great because I do like that new wave of British heavy metal type stuff. Sometimes they just have those kind of raw riffs and everything, and it's just enjoyable, and so Satan was.
They're one of those bands that like we liked them before, but then after seeing them live, we're like, we like them more now.
Right. Like, and I do want to listen to some of those newer albums too, because they sound pretty good.
I agree. They're great.
Saturnus, we did see one show for Saturnus.
Saturnus was pretty good. And Saturnus was one of those bands that like I had never heard before the cruise, and then when they're announced, I listened to their stuff and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And it is like, as far as the slow, doomy kind of stuff, I probably like Saturnus the most on the cruise. Some of the songs they played a lot of the Veronica Decides to Die album, and I don't think they had time to finish the entire album, but they did at least like the first like 4 or 5 songs. And some of those were just really cool to hear live and stuff, and it had just a cool feel. I feel like Studio B and Royal Theater had some of the most magical feelings when it came to shows. Like Pool Deck had some great shows and it was fun, But there's something just magical or atmospheric about some of the Studio B and Royal Theater shows that we saw.
Something to compare 2026 to 2025. I actually felt like the sound quality was better in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know who all the sound engineers were, who all of the equipment people were, or whatever, from this year versus last year. But there were
did a great job.
Yeah, because there were a lot of issues in 2025, and yeah, there were some issues in 2026, but not nearly as much as last year.
I agree,
and that's why like when we would sit in different spots in the Royal Theater, it sounded pretty good generally anywhere we were, generally. But like, yeah, it was just the sound was better this year, and yeah, I agree. Seven Spires, we saw a little bit of one show for Seven Spires.
It was their full album one. That they did, Emerald Seas
in
album.
the Studio B.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
It was okay.
We saw like two or three songs. Yeah, and it was just okay. I don't know. Maybe one day it'll click for me. Sorry for Seven Spires fans out there. Like maybe one day I'll get it. I just don't right now. Skeletal Remains, we didn't see.
Didn't see them.
Skyclad, we did see one show of Skyclad, and that was pretty cool. But you're more of the Skyclad guy than I am.
Like pretty cool, but it was really late, and some of those I feel bad for some of the later shows because my endurance is like wearing a little thin, and I'm a little bit just a little more sedated and just like I'm ready to sleep. But like it was nice to at least see him a bit,
I guess that's the thing is I wish folk metal won us over a little more.
Yeah, this year folk metal was my most disappointing genre this year. I feel like because we tried for a lot. Like Leaves Eyes, Elvitir, Arcona, Tyr.
Like Arcona was like probably one of my favorites out of all the or at least in that area. Stuff. Yeah. Soen, we did see one show for Soen, and I was glad that they played that Lotus song. That was like probably my favorite song from them. And they sounded great live.
Yeah, they did sound good.
I would have seen like more from them, but again, conflicts. Just it is what it is. But shall we press on with all possible dispatch?
Great too.
Soilwork. So Soilwork was a band that we did see both shows. And dude, I was so optimistic when they started their first show and everything. They were like
the average stalker,
and I'm like, okay, third album,
and then
they did.
Here we go,
album, they're gonna do a bunch of old stuff.
Hey, we're gonna play all our new stuff because we didn't freaking tour in the last 10 years. So here's a lot of Overgiven Hetten or how you pronounce it, album, and it was just kind of like, I mean, like some of it was like kind of cool, but. For me and Kevin, we were both like old school Soilwork fans. Like those first 5
Chain
albums.
Heart Machine
And I mean, I like the newer albums. They're still great. But even in the newer albums, they didn't play my favorite songs from the newer albums in the last 15 years either. They played all the songs that I'm like, so they sounded great. They sounded great live, but man, it was such a disappointing set list. Like choice of songs for us personally. Maybe some other people would have been like that was like the perfect set list, but
I felt like Speedstrid did a really good job of doing the vocals and everything, presence, all that. It's just the song selection was just I wish it was different.
Me too.
And so that was a little disappointing for Soilwork.
They did no Chain Heart Machine. They did 2 from Predator's Portrait. They did 1 from Natural Born Chaos. And then they did like 1 from Figure Number 5. That was it. And then everything else was like I think 2 from Stab in the Drama, maybe like 2 from Sworn to a Great Divide, a couple from Living Infinite, a couple from the later albums, and Distance was great live though. That was fun seeing cool. Distance. That was pretty cool.
Strike Master, we did not see Strike Master. No. Sweet Acra, we saw a little bit of one show for Sweet Acra. And they're just okay. Yeah. Didn't really win us over. Them, didn't see them. They're another band that I just kind of forgot about. I just Tribulation. We did see Tribulation. One set.
Yeah.
It was kind of ghoulish, kind of slow, kind of just doing their thing.
It was fine, but it wasn't as
Trick or Treat. That's one power metal band that I would have wanted to see, but conflicts. We didn't see any Trick or Treat. So for that one, I don't know. That one might have been pretty cool, but who knows? We'll never know. Tyr, we saw
a little bit of both shows.
Yeah, that's right. We saw a little. I was like, did we see because we were there for quite a bit for both shows. I feel like we were there for at least. Well, maybe the first show for the second show.
First show only a couple songs,
and then the second show was like 5 or 6. We were
that Heathen one was like the best song. The rest was kind of just whatever.
Yeah, the Heathen Axe or whatever.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Like the Heathen Arise or whatever is like.
Yeah, how does that song go?
It was like. Yeah, it was like.
Oh, it's kind of tongue twistery.
When the Heathen Arise. I can't remember.
Yeah, however.
Yeah, that was a fun song.
Yeah, whatever it was. Vader. So we did see one show for Vader, and it was on the pool deck. It was pretty freaking cold. But like, dude, that drummer guy was freaking doing great.
He was I know. That's the thing. Like, I wasn't even like listening to Vader before. I was like, it just sounds like normal death metal to me. And then seeing them live, I was kind of like, yeah, this show is actually like pretty rocking. Like, I was enjoying it a lot more. And I love whenever, and even the guitar dude, he has his like hair like blown in the wind. He's all like so freaking soloing and stuff. It was fun, like just to see him rocking out and going for it. And Vader was one of those bands that I'm not too familiar with, but I was also like maybe they're third as behind Orden Ogan and Eric Carey, where I was kind of like I could see myself getting more into them because they were pretty fun live. And then also at the what's it called? The Rocking with Waters.
Yeah, the jamming.
The jamming thing. I thought that was so funny. He was all like interviewing the Vader guitarist, and he's all like, "So, what'd you think of the cruise?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's good and all, but man, we were like playing out there, and it's like freaking windy, man. Like it was like he was just like he couldn't believe how crazy that like show was or something." And then the guy just like straight up cuts him off, just like yeah. But he was just like. Guys, like we almost died. Like it was serious out there. Like it was just very funny or something.
That whole jamming, thing was pretty fun. Because like I forget the Kroll guy asking each person like random questions and stuff. Like I like unscripted stuff because you never know what kind of nonsense is going to come up.
Like when the tier dude was like, "Yeah, I got a sunburn," and like I never had a sunburn this bad. Like that was funny.
Yeah. It's like same thing with the Gus G guy, and he's like, "Oh, do you remember this?" And he's like, "No, I don't remember this at all." It's just there was a lot of just shenanigans that was just off the cuff, random. Like, that was pretty cool. VBO, we didn't see VBO.
We walked past one of the shows while I was playing.
And had to go get ice cream.
Yeah, man, we had to get some pizza.
But I'd be curious. I'd be curious if VBO like won some people over because I still don't know what they're all about.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So Violence was like the first show we went to in Studio B. Violence was great. We saw all of that show, and it was great, man. Like,
it was awesome.
They did a great job.
I agree.
Man.
They did that Eternal Nightmare song, and then they did that one. Kill on Command or whatever. And what's funny is like the guy was like, "What is it? Kill." And I was like, "Or be killed." And he's like, "No. Kill or be killed." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought it was like kill or be killed. What the heck's going on here?" Like kill or be killed. And then it's like kill on command. And I was like, oh. I was just like, well, I'm not obviously not the diehard Violence fan, but they're great. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, they're another band that I honestly they're probably in the top 5 of like bands that I want to get more into. They did a great show.
They were one of those bands I checked out years ago and I couldn't get behind the vocals. And then when they were announced for this cruise, I kind of like, okay, I'm going to listen to these more. And I went through those early albums a couple times. I was like, yeah, okay, these guys are actually pretty cool. And I like the vocalist now because he's so unique sounding, you know, like, but I think Violence is maybe an acquired taste. Like you have to listen to them maybe a few times before they click, but then they click and you're like, dude, this is freaking sick.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, there became a running joke where it seemed like if someone was bald, they were in a band. Yeah. Like everybody on the boat is like the Violence guy was bald.
He was bald.
The Soilwork guy, Beast in Black was bald.
Saturnus was bald.
Like, dude, there were so many people.
Darkane was bald.
Like there were so many bald guys.
Yeah.
And it was just
if you're bald, you could sing good.
Right. If you were bald, you were in a band. You know? And so like I remember just wandering around the cruise, seeing like a bald guy and thinking, okay, which band is that bald guy a part of? You know? Because there were just a lot of bald guys.
Another funny, sorry, I'm thinking about food still, but like it was funny because like for some reason the hot dogs on the boat just tasted really good. So like whenever we'd go for lunch and all you could eat, I would like grab a bunch of hot dogs and French fries and stuff, and it was just really. So that became a running gag where because Kevin's like, dude, bro, you're on vacation. You don't need to eat hot dogs on your freaking vacation.
Like, real,
man. Like these are like what 50 cents, like bro. But for some reason I was just like, these taste pretty good. I like these hot dogs. So like we'd go for breakfast or dinner and Kevin would be like, no, they don't have hot dogs, Ian.
Yeah.
You know, and then
And then I was like, one day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try one of these hot dogs to see why Ian is, and they weren't that great, man. Like, they weren't that great. I don't get it, man.
They're pretty good. The hot dogs and the hamburgers were pretty good.
Vitam et Mortem. We didn't see them. Windrose. We saw one show, and they were all right, but it was kind of a diminishing return.
Yeah.
Diminishing effect. Like
each song is lesser than the next.
Yeah, the first song that they played, like in the Royal Theater, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then the second song, pretty good. Third song, I'm like, you know, because I'm not a big fan of 2010s power metal stuff. It's just, there's something about it that doesn't click with me because I love all that 90s and 2000s stuff more.
Yeah,
you know?
Me too.
So, I don't know. For those of you who love Windrose, like, hey, more power to you. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wolf is another band that we missed.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see
It would have been
him.
cool to see, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Xandria was the last one. We saw the first show with Xandria, and dude, I tried hard, man. I was open. We were sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try and listen. I'm gonna try and get into this and everything. And as it was going and stuff, I was just like, oh yeah,
I don't like this.
this is why I can't.
This is not good.
Like,
I don't want to be here anymore. Let's go get freaking pizza.
it just, I don't know, man. Like I respect the hustle and everything, you know, and they definitely have a following and everything. There's people that do like Xandria and whatever, but
we're just not big fans.
But I just like, I've seen Xandria, like now I've seen them 3 times or 2 or 3 times, and I don't know, they just don't click for me.
Yeah,
you know,
me neither.
And I just don't get it, man. I'm sorry. So that was the bands and everything.
Let's wrap up with the 3 things now. Like,
let's do it. You take it away, bro.
Freaking, Spitfire. Your favorite moment or moments, if you can't decide on one. Least favorite moment or moments, and then most unexpected moment.
Okay,
let's do all those. You go first.
Yeah, I'll go first, and then you could close out the video. My favorite moment, honestly, I will say seeing Darkane live. I would say that was my favorite moment. Seeing specifically probably Innocence Gone. Seeing that song live was so amazing.
Yeah,
like it just, the time just stood still. Everything was just, dude, I was going crazy. I was like singing. I was shouting so loud and everything, and I was like making myself sick. You know, I was just going ballistic, man. It was great, dude. My most disappointing moment, I would say Camelot Center of the Universe, dude, with Tommy Karavec, you know, butchering
the ballad section,
and we played that song live in our,
and we like butchered it too.
But at least we knew the damn lyrics. At least we got all the lyrics right. But it's like, we played that song back when we were in high school for like a battle of the bands, you know? And so I will always love Center of the Universe.
Third place,
you know?
sucker.
Yeah. So I will always love. And we messed up a lot because we were only like 17 or however old we were. But dude, he forgot, like, not just that one section with the quiet part, but also some other parts. He didn't even say Rising Like the Pegasus. He missed. He's like, I don't know.
I'm not letting this
like,
go.
It just, oh man, that was my most disappointing was, and I love Camelot, dude, but man, that was disappointing. You know?
Yeah.
So, anyways.
I think my favorite, it's a tie between the second Darkane show.
You don't want to say, like, my unexpected?
Oh, I thought we were doing our favorites and then doing our least favorites.
Okay. I already did both.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, that works. Oh, hey, what's your most unexpected?
No, go for it.
No, you can finish up, man. This is your show. No, it's okay.
Go for it. I gotta think about the unexpected.
Okay, that's fine. You think about it. Yeah, my favorites was the first Star Trek Release show in the Royal Theater was magical, and the second show for Darkane was bad. Although the first Darkane show was magical too, just being in the front with like, I was like, while they're doing the sound check and doing the 2 songs, I was like spanning my camera to be like, dude, like there's nobody here, and they're like rocking out, and it was so fun. It was cool just like meeting the band and just talking and stuff a little bit, and kind of a blend with that first Darkane show and the Canona Fever show. Like those are all like my top 3 favorite moments.
We didn't even mention like the meet and greet for Dark Tranquillity.
Oh,
we kept on bringing up.
Okay. I admit that sometimes fans don't know what to say, and they're just like,
and we're sometimes those people who don't know what to say.
So and they're like, keep going, man. Like there's a freaking line here, and you're just like
it was funny. It was funny because like we kept on bringing up all these like side projects and bands that they've been a part of in the past. And stuff. And it was
funny
funny
because afterwards we're like, why were we talking about other bands with it? I don't know.
Right,
It
was kind of funny. Yeah. It was.
I was like, yo, Kennel Club and Sick to the Martin Brandstrom dude,
and then I asked the guitar guy, I was like, hey, so is Skyfire gonna do anything? And he was just like, no, those guys are lazy. You know, he's like, I just play lead guitar. I don't, you know, basically he doesn't have much to do with the band, you know.
Yeah.
So and I get it, I understand. But yeah, anyways, so I thought that was kind of funny. But
no, it was nice, but the Dark King meet and greet was definitely better. Like
But I guess like. Yeah, what was your most disappointing?
My most disappointing might have been the Soulwork shows and that second Camelot show.
Yeah.
As well as all the folk metal shows, I guess. I think in some ways, honestly, if I go again, I might skip a lot of folk metal and just go straight to a lot of like thrash, death metal, black metal, power metal. I think I might just kind of devote my time to those because I may just avoid a lot of doom metal and folk metal because I think both times I've been on, those haven't really captivated me as much. Yeah. Unless I'm like an insanely huge fan.
Yeah.
You know?
Which you're not.
Which I'm not. Like, I'm a casual fan for some of those genres.
Yeah.
You know, if they had like 10 sludge metal bands on the cruise, I'd be like, dude, I'll try one show.
Yeah.
You know?
But, so my most unexpected would probably be... I didn't expect to have that much time to talk to Darkane, you know what I mean? To talk to them and everything. It was really cool because we talked to them for a good like 30 minutes or so, you know, and getting all of that stuff signed and everything. Like, it was really cool connecting with them. I kind of have the impression that like most of these people want to go do their own thing. They don't have time to talk to people. You know, that's like my impression of bands and stuff. And probably for a lot of them, that's true. But with Darkane, it's like they were cool just talking about whatever, you know. But another unexpected, it was so surprising to meet Matt and Ryan on the boat.
That was very unexpected.
Because I did not expect that at all. You know
I didn't expect it either.
And I was just kind of like, because I was planning on not talking to nobody on that table. I was like, whatever, I'll just eat the food.
Just freaking eating
you know? And then Ryan was like, hey, are you two brothers? And then boom, we had a lot in common. So that was crazy.
And what's cool is like Kevin doesn't meet a ton of prog power people. No. Like there's not a ton of people that are into prog power stuff like in America. So yeah, that was probably one of my most unexpected.
Yeah,
I was unexpected that things went as well as they did, considering all the challenges of the cruise.
Yeah,
you know? I was unexpected that they did as well that they did. Like literally, the Beast in Black I think was like the only show that was canceled and then rescheduled. Like. For the most part, they did a phenomenal job, and
and that's the thing. Like, shout out to Andy and all of the 70K people, and the lady who booked Darkane. Shout out to her as well. I can't remember her name, but like, dude, like all the 70K people, I feel like did a great job this year.
This year was amazing,
and it just makes me want to go back for 2027. You know, so we'll see if the lineup and money finances works out, then we'll probably go back, but we'll see. But that's about it. Was there any last thoughts or anything before we close this video out?
None from me. It was an amazing time. A lot of memorable experiences, great shows, great bands, and a lot of people had a lot of fun. And it was just a very great experience.
Yeah. So I've only been on the cruise 3 times now, and this was probably my favorite year. It was cool just rocking out with you, bro.
Yeah, we saw a total of 48 shows. Yeah, like we saw a ton of shows, and it was pretty rough for us to. Yeah, go hard, but we did it.
And I just want to say but like a big thank you to all of the people who talked to us and like shared their love of music with us as well. And also like shout out to Darkane for being such freaking cool guys and everything and 70K. So anyways, we're Forgotten Legends of Sound. Hope you had a good time reminiscing with us and all our tomfoolery, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.